How's everyone doing today? My name is Riley. Welcome back to the XSP Green Monster channel. Today I have a quick video on the differences of bits. So based on my last video, I felt like this was an important one to make because today I went out and I bought some nicer drill bits because the ones I have were cheap ones, and I just tested one out and it makes a huge difference. I just did want to make sure that these were hard enough steel to get through it. So I'm going to go through quickly what I got, why I got it, and then show you guys the difference between a cheap bit and an expensive bit. Okay, so here's what we got. This is the cheap side I got. I think I got this whole thing for like 20 bucks. Has some hole saws and everything. And this is a great kit for wanting to get stuff done just around the house, through PVC, any other kinds of plastic, through wood and everything, and even through some cheaper steels that are low carbon. This is what I just went out and picked up. The company doesn't really matter, and I'll explain why. It just has to do with the material of these. So I got a set because you can get more for the money when you buy sets like this. And I picked up a 3/8 and a half to finish off this set, or sorry, 7/16 and a half to finish off this set since this stops at 3/8. So I also picked up a step drill. So this whole thing was around with a step drill and 2 extra bits. I got this all for, I believe, right around $60. And this, I believe, was $20 for everything. So obviously I get a lot more of this. I get some extra bits. I have hole saws up here. I have drill bits. I have wood bits up here, some concrete bits, and a punch. So the big difference why I got this was because these are high-speed steel. And that, if you're a machinist, you kind of know about that. That's kind of standard for 3-axis machining, drill presses, all of that. Really any kind of automated machining or assisted machining is through high-speed steel, titanium, and carbide. So I knew I got high-speed steel because I had a feeling that this was going to be able to cut through the steel that I'm using much better, and that's why I went with this. So these are all high-speed steel, and if you need to go through metal, I recommend, especially for home doers, that you look for high-speed steel bits. It should say somewhere it's high-speed steel. It's like the black and gold or whatever. I don't care as much about that. All I was looking for was a high-speed steel marking on the back. That's why it doesn't matter too much that's Irwin. I bought all this stuff. It's not like they sent me anything. It's just about whether or not it's high-speed steel. Cobalt, titanium, all that stuff, it could just be a coating. You want it to say that it's a high-speed steel bit. And now I'm going to show you the difference that high-speed steel makes over a cheaper bit set. Okay, so first I have my old Ryobi bit set here. These are well used. It's not like they're brand new bits. Well, they're not well used, but they're not brand new bits, and they've worked for me through steel before, and aluminum especially, they work well through. I'm going to show you what they do on some steel that's been slightly hardened by plasma cutting and everything else. So this is, I believe this has been hardened slightly. I don't think that much, but you'll hear the difference here for how this sounds. I just want that to be. So that right there, that screeching is what sucks about these bits. So that was a non-punched hole through some slightly hardened steel. And I'm just going to quickly switch over to a similar sized drill bit from this set. And these are brand new. I haven't used these bits before, but what's happening here does not have to do with the bits being new. It has to do with the hardness of the metal. So I started right here. I'm going to go in a different corner, so it's not going through a preset hole, so you'll still hear it from a start. And that went deeper than the other ones, and it still didn't start screeching. And the big thing here that I'm going to show is that the old bits did not chip. So chipping is a big thing. But if you look here with these ones, I actually got some nice chips out of that cut. And chips are, you want to see these long chips. That means that the bit is cutting well. It has a good feed rate and it has a good speed. So that's what you want to see when you're cutting steel, is these long stranded chips. So here you can see this is the one that I cut with the older, softer bits, and then that is the one with the new bit, and you can see how much deeper that one is and how much faster it was, and the good chips that I was getting off of it. So that, I believe, has a lot to do with the hardness of steel. So when steel starts screeching when you're using it to cut metal. When the bit starts screeching, either you don't have enough feed rate, the speed is too high, I believe. Yeah, speed's too high, you don't have enough feed rate, so you're not feeding it into the metal enough, which is hard to do with a hand drill. On drill presses and stuff like that, it's much easier to do. So this is more for the do-it-yourself, doing it with a hand drill, not with the drill press, because the drill press you can just press down harder, and if you're using a big bit, you don't have to worry about deflection or that much. Smaller bits, obviously it's going to matter either way. But that has what to do, or it's because the tip of the bit is rubbing on the metal. It's not actually cutting. So that's where I think this is. I think those other ones are too soft. It's just not a high enough grade of steel to actually cut through. Now titanium bits, if they're true titanium bits, work very well for stainless applications. You run them about half the speed of a high-speed steel, and those work very well for a smoother hole on stainless steels. But for this normal through steel work, high-speed steel works incredibly well. The tip design may or may not help. I don't know how much that tip design helps that's on there. It's like a triangular thing. That's not the big thing. The big thing is that is high-speed steel. And it's a high-grade, high-speed steel. It cuts through the steel much easier. It doesn't squeal at normal operation of a do-it-yourself drill. If you have a drill press, it makes all this stuff easier. But I don't have a drill press, and this is more for people that are doing steel stuff at home. You want to have bits that can cut through easily. I highly recommend spending the money, get high-speed steel bits if you're doing a lot with metal work. That isn't that expensive, 60 bucks for a whatever 16 pieces of drill set, or I don't know how many it is, but it makes a huge difference. It's going to make your life easier. The bits are going to last longer. You're not going to have screeching deal with it. It's going to cut through a lot faster. You save yourself time and money. So I highly recommend doing a high-speed steel bit set. You can get up into really, really expensive high-speed steel bits, but I think for do-it-yourself, just Ace Hardware, Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those blade steel drill bits, look for the ones that are marked on the package as being some type of high-speed steel. The better rates of steel, those say the premium high-speed steel. I don't know if that's true, but they do make a difference, and it does cut through steel a lot easier. So that was quickly the difference between cheap bits and expensive bits. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we start installing all the stuff we've been prepping for.